Hi guys, welcome back. So in the previous lectures we have seen about data modeling in MongoDB, and we have seen how we can do the data modeling using referencing of a document or embedding documents in MongoDB. So in this lecture or couple of lectures from now, we will be discussing about relationships between the documents in MongoDB or relationships in MongoDB. Like we maintain relationships in relational databases like one to one, one to many, many to many. The same one to one, one to many, and many to many, we are going to discuss how we can achieve that in MongoDB. So let's get started. So here also we have three types of relationships, like one-to-one relationships, one-on-one relationships. So we'll see how we can achieve these one-to-one relationships in MongoDB using the two strategies like embedding and referencing. So we'll see how we can do that, and then we'll see the one-to-many, and we'll see with the both the strategy how we can achieve that one to many using the embedding document and referencing document, and then we'll see the many to many relationships in MongoDB using embedding and referencing. So we'll see how we can achieve these relationships in MongoDB in the next couple of sections. So data modeling and relationships are one of the very special and very important things that we should know, because when you are going to design your data model, you must be aware of the data modeling strategies and things to know before you start modeling your data. So if you know like how you can achieve the one to one or one to many or many to many mappings or relationships between the document, between the collections, then it will be easy for you to design and develop applications using MongoDB, and MongoDB will help you a lot in your endeavor. So let's get started with the one-to-one relationships in the next lecture. So see you soon. Hi, welcome back. So in this lecture we are going to discuss about one-to-one relationships in MongoDB. While doing the data modeling, we many times we need to deal with these relationships one-to-one. So in relational databases, what we do, we map one table to another table with the help of foreign key, and we do the mapping. Sometimes what we do, we keep the data in the same table and we do the one-to-one mapping. Sometimes we go with the foreign key. So it all depends how effective or how efficient you want to design your database. In NoSQL database or in MongoDB, we do this one-to-one mapping using two strategies. One to one we do in two ways. One is embedding and one is linking. Linking means referencing. So let's get started with this thing. So suppose I want to achieve one to one relationship in MongoDB. Suppose I have a customer data or customer document in MongoDB, and I have a address document for the same customer, and I want to achieve one-to-one relationship between customer and address document. How I will do this? How I will do this? So the thing is, suppose I have customer information like name and age business, and I have the address information in another document with street and city, which is containing his street, city and state information. Now I want to store these two information in MongoDB. How will I do that? So there are two ways I can do that. First one is embedding these two documents in one document, and another one is I can have two documents and I can reference one with a foreign key strategy. Like I can introduce ID here, and same ID I'll use as a customer ID in this. So let's look at both of them. So first we'll look at the embedding documents, how we can achieve one-to-one in this scenario by storing customer and address into a same document, embedded document in MongoDB. So let's see, suppose I have the customer name, business of the customer, and then I can use address object inside this document, and I can store street, city, state and all these things, and then I close the main document. So this is the main document, starting from here, ending here. In this I have name, business, and then I can store the address here. By I can embed the address document inside this customer document, and I can store this in this way. This is an embedded document inside the customer document. So in this way we can achieve the one to one customer, one address, one customer, one address, one address, one customer. So in this way we can achieve the 1 to 1 in MongoDB. So this is the one strategy, embedding the document inside the main document. The next thing we'll see the referencing or linking one document into the other document. So let's see that. So here we'll see the referencing, how we can reference and you achieve the 1 to 1 relationship. So suppose I have this customer document with ID, name, and business. So this is the customer document. Now I'll have the another document in MongoDB with the address, and here what I'll do, I'll store the city, state, street of the customer along with this 3 information which already was there in the previous document. I'll have one more ID, one more key value pair, one more field, customer ID, and that customer ID will referring to this ID of this customer field. So this is the address document and this is the customer document, and these two documents are getting together with the this ID field. This ID field I'm referring here with the customer ID field. So in this way we can refer one document into other. So this is the way we can refer 1 to 1 relationship in MongoDB. So this is how we can achieve the relationships 1 to 1 in MongoDB by keeping foreign key kind of relationship with this ID. I'm referring here with the name cust ID, and in this way we can recognize that okay, this address belongs to this employee or this customer. So this is the way we can achieve the 1 to 1 using embedding and referencing strategies. So in the next lecture we will be discussing about 1 to many relationship in MongoDB. So see you soon. Hi guys, welcome back. So in the previous lecture we have gone through the 1 to 1 relationships in MongoDB, and we have seen how we can achieve that using embedding a document inside a document and referencing a document from one document to another document. So in this lecture we will be going through 1 to many relationships in MongoDB while doing a data modeling, how we can achieve that. So let's get started. So suppose I have a document which is a student document which is having information about student detail, and we have another document with the subject which will contain the which student is having going through what are the subject one student is going through. So this will be having information, and I want to achieve the 1 to many. Sorry guys, it's not a 1 to 1, it's a 1 to many. So I want to achieve 1 to many relationships in MongoDB with the student detail, and one student can have many subjects. So these relationships I want to achieve. So what student data is having? We are having a student document which is having name, school, and we have the subject document which is having teacher name, subject. So and one student can have 2 or more subject. So it is having 2 documents, like teacher John is teaching science and teacher Mark is teaching subject biology. So one student is having 2 subjects here. So here we want to do the data modeling using this 1 to many relationships. So let's see how we can achieve with our strategies, embedding and referencing. So first we look at the embedding this document inside the student document and how we can achieve. Suppose what I'll do, suppose I'll write a document like which will have the student name and school as usual, and then what I'll do, I'll have a subject array. So inside this document I'll have another document with subject array, and this subject array will contain documents for each subject. Like this subject array will have
first document as a teacher for the subject science, and it will close here. Then it will have another document for subject biology. So see here, we have achieved this one to many. One student will have many subjects here. Subject array will have the subject science and subject biology both inside this array. These two documents are kept inside this array, subject array. So in this way, if you want to fetch student details, you can fetch with a single query, because we are embedding this inside a single document. So this way we can achieve one to many. One student is having two or more subject. So let's see the second strategy, referencing, how we can achieve this. Suppose I'll create a document with the student document, which will have the ID, name and school, and then I'll have a one more document for subject, and it will have the teacher name and subject name along with the student ID. So in this, what I'll do, I'll create separate documents for each subject. So here science subject will have the teacher name and subject science, and it will have the student ID 101, which will refer to this one. And then I'll have the one more document for subject biology, which will have the teacher name, subject biology and student ID 101. So see here, we are achieving one student is having two or more subject, one to many relationships. How we are achieving? With this foreign key kind of relationship ID. Here we are referencing with the student ID, and here as well as student ID. So this student ID will refer to this student ID, and this student ID of the second document of subject document, it will refer to this. So here we are achieving one to many relationships with this ID. This ID is referring to this one and this one. So in this way we can achieve one to many relationship in MongoDB. So this way we can achieve one to one and one to many relationship. One to one we have discussed in the last lecture, and one to many we are discussing right now. So this ID field will be referring to these two documents student ID field. So in the next lecture we will be discussing about many to many relationships in MongoDB. Hi guys, welcome back. So this is Sunil. I'm going to discuss today many to many relationships. Last week we have discussed about one to one and one to many relationships, and this one was pending from last week. So this weekend I'm going to cover this, and many more lectures I'm going to add in this course. So let's get started with the many to many relationships in MongoDB database design. So when we talk about many to many relationships, what is the many to many relationship? Suppose we have like in relational databases, MySQL or Oracle, we achieve this many to many relationships using joins. So we join too many tables, two or more tables, to achieve many to many relationships. Like we if we have one table and another table, we use the foreign key and two-way foreign key relationships to achieve this many to many relationships. In MongoDB, what we do, suppose we have a author document, okay, and we have a article document. So one author can write many articles, and one article can be written by one or more authors. So sometimes when you look at the blogs or the articles, it will be in articles in a newspaper. It sometimes it one article will be written by two or more authors. So one article can have one or more author, and one author can write many articles in different categories. So this is one many to many relationships. So how we achieve these many to many relationships while writing documents in MongoDB? So that's what we are going to discuss in this lecture. So there are two ways actually. One is two-way embedding, and one is one-way embedding. So in this lecture I'm going to concentrate on two-way embedding. One-way embedding is I don't recommend, so I'm not going to discuss one-way embedding. I'm going to discuss about two-way embedding. What is two-way embedding? Suppose we have an author and an article, and we want to achieve the many to many relationships. So suppose one author, like suppose Anil Ambani, the name of author is something, and he has written articles 1 and 2. And in the same way, another author is there whose ID is 2 and he has written article 2. So see here, article 2 is common here. Articles 1 and 2 in the first author as well and in the second author as well. Article 2. So here we are embedding articles in the author document. And in the same way, if we look at the article document, it is having id, title and categories, and then it is having authors document embedded in that. So we are referring this from here. In the author document we are referring articles, and in article document we are referring authors. So we have the second article which is written by the second author. So in this way, see, this article is having one and two authors, and this article is having only second author. So in this way we are achieving two-way embedding. We are embedding articles in the author document and we are embedding author in the article document. So see here, we are this here also we are embedding articles, and in here we are embedding author. So two-way referencing is there, two-way embedding of documents are there. So this is the two-way embedding of a many to many relationships. So here one author has many articles and one article has many authors. So in this way we can achieve many to many embedding, many to many relationships in MongoDB. So see you in the next lecture.